Is it time for the news? I think it probably is. All right. Well, it is January 16th, 2018. I'm Rick Thompson. It's the Cannabis News. Boy, you know, that Jeff Sessions, just what a pain in my butt that guy has been. I'd like to see a Saturday Night Live character combining Jeff Sessions and George Jefferson. I think that would be a great character. You could call Trump Wheezy. It would be awesome. But some of the fallout from Jeff Sessions' retraction of the Cole memo continues, and it goes in different ways. Louisiana's medical marijuana program, just for an example, is just getting off the ground. They plan to have products available this summer, but now that whole thing hangs in limbo because of the rescinding the Obama administration policy that helped pave the way for legal marijuana in a growing number of states. Now, Louisiana State University's Ag Center has a therapeutic cannabis program. They are strictly a medical marijuana therapeutic cannabis state. Now, you'd think that the director of the LSU Ag Center or the Attorney General from Louisiana would be in support of their state laws, but no, I don't think so. This is what Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry said. I think Attorney General Sessions was right in doing what he's doing. That's the problem we're having in this country, where we have laws on the books and we're just choosing which ones we want to enforce and which ones we don't. Now, wait a second, Dick. You've been enforcing a medical marijuana program that is in violation of federal law, and you've been doing it for years. Thanks a lot for your hypocrisy. We appreciate it. Second story, New York. Now, you know, New York's got a new medical marijuana program, but they're always talking about going legal, not because they think it's the right thing to do, but because they want money. One of these loudmouth guys running for New York governor as a Republican is a former Erie County executive. His name is Joel Giambra, and that's a mob name. He called for legalized marijuana, but he wants the toughest, tightest regulated legalized marijuana program in the United States of America. Why? You don't need that at this stage. It's 2018, for crying out loud. And what's his motivation? Billions of dollars in revenue for infrastructure. He specifically wants to help pay for road and bridge repair upstate, as well as the Metropolitan Transportation Authority in New York. Now, there were always Democrats in New York calling for legalization, but for a Republican gubernatorial candidate to do it is a relatively new thing. But don't get too excited yet. Giambra probably faces an uphill battle in a race anyway, along with other Republican hopefuls. And there's an assembly minority leader who say he'll run as a Republican, and a state senator is also talking about running. All would be big underdogs because New York is typically a Democratic state. But Democrats were unable to get legalization bills off the ground in 2017 with zero support from across the aisle. Not good, New York. This is Colorado. You know, Colorado's been doing a whole lot of good things with legalized marijuana. You know, that industry is booming. Since the legalization of recreational marijuana in 2012, the state's benefited. They've used the tax revenue to fund K-12 education, housing development. The rate of opioid-related deaths decreased. Even the Colorado chief medical officer said there have not been any significant issues due to cannabis legalization. And you know what? They don't have a marijuana tracking system in Colorado. Oh, not yet. They're going to try. Senate Bill 18-029 calls for a tracking program, a seed-to-sale technology, but it's a little bit different. Listen to this. They want the Institute of Cannabis Research at Colorado State University, Pueblo, to develop marijuana tracking technology, including an agent that is applied to a marijuana plant, a marijuana product, industrial hemp plants, and industrial hemp products, and then scanned by a device. Why the hell would you need to track industrial hemp plants? Oh, my God. And the bill would then naturally ask the scan to accurately say whether or not the cannabis or hemp product was grown, manufactured, and distributed legally. Now, there's a lot of downsides to this proposed cannabis tracking system. calls for an unspecified agent, and they want to apply this agent directly to the plant. The agent could be anything, a sticker, a tag, some kind of microchip. And while scanning agents may conceivably work to track some items, we need to remember that we're talking about plants. Lawmakers have yet to vote on that bill. They introduced it in the Senate session last week. If it passes, will it keep growers and distributors accountable, or will cannabis tracking system just inspire paranoia? No way to know. Canada, though, you know what Canada's trying to do? Some people in Canada are trying to get expungement included in their legalization program. And legalization of recreational cannabis in Canada is only a few months away, but it'll take a lot longer than that to clean up the mess left behind from prohibition. And one of the most pressing issues has to be to wipe the state slate clean for Canadians who have criminal records. Now, Bill C-45, called the Cannabis Act, was tabled recently, but the government said there'd be no general amnesty for past convictions. But now Liberals are starting to come to their senses a little bit. At a cabinet retreat last week in London, Ontario, I've been there, it's okay. Federal Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale said the government is examining the implications of possible pardons or something called record suspension, but that no action would be taken until after July 1st. And Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, for his part, acknowledged a lot of people have been harmed by having criminal records. But he said some people will continue to be prosecuted for possession of marijuana until a legalized and controlled regime is in place, and not before. So anyone currently purchasing marijuana is participating in illegal activity that is funding criminal organizations and street gangs, said Mr. Trudeau. That's not so cool. That's not such an advanced way to look at it. However, we have one other story to talk about. Last story for this evening. It's from California, and this is another I don't like Jeff Sessions story. California's burgeoning cannabis industry has already been heavily reliant on cash and detached from banks. Now everybody's scared because of Jeff Sessions. Sessions' decision has left California state government and the legal cannabis industry scrambling to handle the ways to resolve all of the revenue that will be coming in. If you weren't already involved, this doesn't seem like the right time to start, said Robert McVeigh, partner at Harris Bricken, a Seattle-based law firm with a practice group dedicated to cannabis law. California's market faces a major influx of money with next to nowhere to put it. Now, the state already issued about 675 temporary licenses for all kinds of businesses, from grow operations and labs to retail dispensaries and food production businesses. You know, in 2016, a study estimated legalization would add $5 billion to the market. And in the absence of organized banking, where's all that money go? A number of startups offering alternative solutions to banking cropped up to tackle the cash problem. Things like CanPay, which boasts an app that offers debiting services via a customer's digital wallet at the point of sale. Here's the thing. The state of Hawaii made their entire medical program cashless. So they are using CanPay exclusively in Hawaii for cannabis purchases. However, that business model relies on protections granted under the Cole Memo. Since Sessions' move, CEO and founder of CanPay, Dustin Ivey, said some banks have paused services or backed out entirely. Some in the industry are turning to blockchain and cryptocurrencies to circumvent banks altogether. Even Potcoin and Hempcoin have been popping up. And though there's a political task force attempting to tackle cannabis banking problems in California, they had 65 banks meet together and agree to form a special coalition in order to resolve this. And then Sessions drops his bombshell. And in light of that news, the Business Consumer Services and Housing Agency is frozen like other banks and financial institutions, awaiting new guidance and evaluating their options. The man in charge of it all says this: the only immediate solution is the unrealistic one, the Fed deregulating cannabis off Schedule 1. Amen to that, my friend.
Wait,
and that is the Cannabis News, January 16th, 2018. See ya.
Wait, who's the big man himself at the end? That, by the way, great job, everybody. That was a wonderful read, Rick. But who had that final say?
Mr. Russ Heinrich. He's the spokesman for that. I guess I didn't include his name, did I? Because I skipped over some stuff because I wanted to get done.
Nice. Okay, sweet. Well, I thought you were like talking about the president of the United States or something for a second.
Oh, I wouldn't call him the big man.
Okay.
I mean, look at his hands. God
You
damn.
mean the least